You're listening to Braless Watch, where a mother and daughter team offer their own opinions on watching TV through a feminist lens.
I'm Beth, the mom.
And I'm Lily, the daughter.
Welcome to Braless Watch, where TV watching gets a whole new perspective. Clothing is optional. Hello.
Hi.
So how excited are you today for the topic?
This will be a fun conversation. We've been avoiding talking about it, even though we really, really wanted to over the week, because there's so much to talk about. So today we're talking about the Addams Family from 1964, for a couple reasons. One, we've already done the Munsters. Might as well do the other side of that. They both came out at, I think, the same week.
Around the same time.
I think it was like the same week of 1964.
It's really weird
right?
how that worked out. Yeah.
Anyway, but also we're doing it because Wednesday, season 2 is coming out, so we just decided to go all the way back to the beginning, as far back as you could in TV land, with the Addams Family.
Right?
So here we are.
It's nice to be able to get a baseline of what Wednesday's character was like from this era. So, and from what I've seen season 1 of Wednesday, and they did a really good job bringing that forward into the, into the contemporary iterations. So they do capture her essence.
Good.
Let's just say.
So yeah, that's why we're doing the Addams Family. Also, third reason, Halloween.
Right.
This is the month of October. So here we are.
Right.
So we're going to do 2 spooky shows back to back. This is the first one. So buckle up, kids.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would you characterize this show as spooky?
No, they keep saying they're spooky. That's
right?
the thing, is that they're spooky and kooky and all these weird things. And like, nah, this is just a white family doing weird shit. White rich family doing weird shit and paying off people so that they can continue doing weird shit.
The privilege was very drippy.
Yeah, it's like, you're just doing weird shit, man. There was a single supernatural element that I noticed. Everything else was not. The only characters I really enjoyed were Lurch and Thing. And Thing has no lines because he's a hand.
I know, but the quality of acting.
Right?
Just using a hand.
What's really funny is that this is the same actor, if I understand it correctly.
Lurch is the hand?
I believe so.
Oh, I didn't look it up.
Pause, and I will look it up. So yes, I'm correct. Ted Cassidy plays both.
That is amazing. Okay, so that makes me fall in love with Ted Cassidy even more.
Right? He's a fabulous actor. Seen him in many things.
Yeah.
So in this version of the Addams Family, the first TV iteration, right, is,
and it's
Ted
the
Cassidy
second iteration of the Addams Family portrayal, right?
Yes, because it started out as a comic.
It did start out as a comic. The Addams Family was created by a cartoonist named Charles Addams, with 2 Ds. Mm-hmm. They originally appeared in a series of 150 standalone single-panel comics, about half of which were originally published in the New Yorker between 1938 and their creator's death in 1988. So 50 years.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of this first season takes images from that to create the show. So there is one of little Wednesday screaming on her bed about school and how they killed the dragon, which is the whole first episode.
It is. Yeah.
So that,
Yeah.
a lot of that comes from,
Yeah. So, of course, fans will know that it's appeared in so many other kinds of media. So film,
yes,
video games, comic books, musical. There's a musical. And in merchandise.
Yeah, I think there is a musical.
Okay. And a little tidbit to add on to the history of the show.
Uh-huh.
The theme song for the TV show in 1964 was composed and performed by Vic Mizzy, M-I-Z-Z-Y. While Mizzy composed and arranged the music, actor Ted Cassidy, who played Lurch and Thing, punctuated the lyrics with his deep voice, saying things like neat, sweet, and petite. So,
and they also added, the iconic snaps.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah. So just a little sidebar on that. Did you get the song stuck in your head while you were watching the TV show?
Not just that song. I got the interlude song that goes from like the goes from the theme song into the episode, that little song kept getting stuck in my head too, and I was like, stop. You have no words.
Earworms.
And also, they play that song, the theme song, throughout the episodes too.
Yes, they do.
It comes up multiple
ways,
times in different ways.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason why this show is so popular, is that theme song got stuck in people's heads.
Yeah. So, trigger warnings, the reason I mentioned trigger warnings at this juncture is because sound. This show is heavily reliant on sound. I don't know if you noticed that.
I was going to talk about the camera work mostly rather than the sound, but okay.
Camera work was, yeah.
I have
Agreed.
many things about the camera work.
So interesting because I'm the visual person.
I know.
And you're the sound person, but for whatever reason, I was noticing and picking up on sounds more so than I was the visual aspects of this show. But how that segues into...
how does that connect to trigger warnings?
Trigger warnings is that one of the things that irritated me about this show is that every time it plays the new episode, they do the Metro Golden Meyer lion roar at the beginning of each of the episodes.
I think that's at the end of the episode.
Okay, it's at the end. Whatever. It was when the transition was happening between each episode.
Okay, because I never heard it because I stopped it so it would continue playing the
how
theme
funny.
song.
So anyway, I just want to warn people, right?
Yeah, the roar is there.
That the roar is there, and, you know, after watching so many episodes in a row, it gets a little much. Also, I have a sensitivity to animals, so...
Yeah, they have a proclivity of using live animals in this show.
Not only live ones, but taxidermied ones.
Yeah, that's less... I mean, those say kind of stagnant of how many there are.
Right, this is just on the set, right?
Right.
But there are
the
a lot.
live ones are... They keep bringing them in.
Right? So anyway, I just wanted to warn everybody about that. There are roaring sounds, there's unalived animals and taxidermy, decapitating actions, fire and explosion. There's knife throwing, but then there's also weaponry and other kinds of things shown as well, in ways that are not necessarily safe. Smoking, mention of alcohol consumption, sexual innuendo and displays of sexual attraction, which I thought was kind of interesting for the time period. Strangulation actions, gunfire sounds, impalement sounds, implied animal cruelty, I wrote live lion, but there are also live crows. There's a
turtle.
Anyway, so yeah, there's live animals in the show. Political corruption. There's sword swallowing, which I found to be a little... Ugh.
He wasn't even doing it. It was very obvious he wasn't doing it. That's the funny part.
Right, yeah. So I wrote that there's implied animal cruelty, but then there's also a portrayal of animal cruelty when there's one particular episode of definitely a man in a gorilla suit, but he's put into a cage. That whole episode is super disturbing. Me. There's mention of suicide and inferred suicide, and there was even statement said that suicide is the coward's way out, which I found to be disturbing. Promotion of murder with the statement, "I'm going to let you kill me." Heteronormative social constructs, really heavy in that. Hanging, there's hanging scene where Gomez tries to hang himself with Lurch's assistance. Super disturbing.
Well, there's that one, but then there's also Sam Picasso.
Right, yeah, that too. Physical assault, mentions of spanking children, cultural appropriation a couple times, and then psychological manipulation, deceit, and then a motorcycle accident.
Yes.
So.
That's a lot.
It is a lot for a show that you would think would be safe because it's from the 1960s.
Well, also for a show that couldn't keep my attention.
It was difficult. I'm just saying.
There were several times I went, "What is happening now?" and run it back.
Yeah, same. So I actually feel a little disappointed in that I was actually excited to watch it because of what I've seen in the contemporary versions.
Right.
And again, I didn't grow up watching the show, even though
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I knew the theme song because it's been used in multiple ways in multiple other media. I know the characters because of the exact same reason, but I'd never actually seen the show, and I am disappointed. I agree with you.
I was excited, and then I was let down, basically. So that's where the disappointment comes from. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. Cast?
Yeah, let's do the cast, because we've already talked about Ted Cassidy.
Right, yeah. So Morticia is the mom, and she's played by Carolyn Jones. Super pretty.
I want to take a moment here when there's a point where she's on her profile, and you see the side of her face. She looks like Elizabeth Giles.
I don't know who that is.
You do. I promise you do. You've seen her in things.
I was thinking she looked like Christina Ricci, because I actually looked that up, because I was like, dang, she looks like Christina Ricci. So, yeah, the casting for later Wednesday, right on the nose. Yeah. Gomez is played by John Astin. Little side note there. That is the father of Sean Astin. I also have a little trivia about that for my personal self, if you want me to share.
Well, we'll see.
Wednesday is played by Lisa Loring. Pugsley is played by Ken Weatherwax. Mm-hmm. Grandmama is played by Blossom Rock, a.k.a.
What a name.
Right? I just love the name.
I love that name.
A.k.a. Edith Blossom Marie McDonald. That's her full name.
That's a great name, too.
She later goes by Marie Blake. Yeah, as well. So lots of different iterations of her name. She was in vaudeville and all kinds of things because of her age at this time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense of her history. Her whole family was part of the vaudeville and theater and all that stuff. So,
what a name! I love it.
Uncle Fester is played by Jackie Coogan. Lurch is played by Ted Cassidy.
Yes.
So,
and he also plays Thing. Apparently,
Thing is also played by Ted Cassidy.
I can't say he played Thing every time. I think. But many of the times when it was just Thing, I think it was Ted Cassidy. But if Lurch was in the frame, I don't know if they tried to splice that in or not.
I don't know either.
So before we get into the episodes, I do want to talk about the camera work, like I mentioned earlier. So they did a lot of cheap stuff.
Yeah.
They replayed things rather than having somebody go backwards, and it's not just the live animals because it's obvious with the lion, right? But they didn't just do it with that. They also did it with Gomez and Morticia when they were dancing. They did it with Lurch when he was dancing. They did it multiple times. They also reused shots for different episodes, even though it was the same episode or same shot, different episode. Exact same shot, same voices. They reused sound that they used for earlier. There's a part where they're talking outside of a room about Wednesday, and then they reuse it later as to show that they're coming up on the door. It didn't make any damn sense. But there's a lot of things like that where they're reusing things.
There was a lot of post-editing, right?
Yeah. And there was a lot of let's do single shots or just these two people and pretend everybody's in the room.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was just a timing thing. I understand with the children that makes sense because they can only be on set for so long.
Right.
But the adults, it was just confusing.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah.
And there's at one point where they completely reuse a shot of Gomez and Morticia fighting with foils.
Fencing foils.
And they completely reused it's the exact same shot, and their voices don't even line up with their lips because they redid the voiceover.
Yes.
I was like, why?
I noticed.
Why didn't you just refilm it? And then a couple episodes later, they do something similar, but it is reshot. I don't.
Whoever was the sound editor and the sound person, or the editor and the sound, whoever, if they were two different people or whatever, they had a lot of work to do after each episode.
Yeah, they did.
Because there were a lot of add-in sounds, which some of them were pretty funny, right? When you close something and it made a creaky sound or something like that, they added that kind of thing. So
I don't know. The only time I actually really laughed was when Lurch was dancing.
I giggled. I didn't know that I ever laughed, but I giggled every time Lurch was instructed or requested to do something, and he just has this low groan.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Tina on
Right.
Bob's Burgers.
Except she does it for anxiety.
She does do it for anxiety, and Lurch does it because he's super annoyed in some instances.
Right.
And just, it's outside the scope of what
he thinks he should be doing.
Yeah, he thinks he should be doing. So, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I wanted to mention the whole camera thing because that bothered me, that they edited it so much.
Why did it bother you think?
I think because it was so choppy.
It wasn't smooth.
It wasn't smooth. It was really obvious. They used transitions. There's one whole episode where it's literally single shots throughout the whole episode for most of it. It was just very annoying.
I think part of the issue here is we have to acknowledge the technology difference, right?
Right.
People were watching this on very small tubed TVs, right? Where the pixelation was in minimal colors.
But that doesn't mean
like
anything for the cuts and the shots.
I just don't think people noticed.
Well, maybe that makes sense because they weren't watching it like we do
at this
nowadays.
Point, TVs had only been out 14 years or 15 years, something along those lines.
Right. But what I'm saying is it's really obvious when it's a single person and then it cuts to another person and then cuts back to another person and they're supposed to be in the same room, but they're not.
Right.
It's too choppy for me.
I had the same kind of visceral response to the sounds, especially animal sounds or the explosion type sounds, things like that. And it's because of the CPTSD, right? I had to be very mindful of that.
Yeah, the explosions were fine. The whining of the animals was hard.
Yeah.
Okay, getting into the episodes. I always like to start with the first one because that's where we meet everybody.
They're supposed to introduce all the characters.
And it's supposed to introduce all the characters. I'm not quite sure.
Did you get the feeling that you did? They didn't, right?
No.
We just knew them?
Right?
I think because people were basing it on the comic book, maybe, or the comic strip.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's also... Let's start at the very beginning. Let's start with the theme, because that is the whole sequence of the theme. Song is fine, but the actual visual of the theme is just weird.
What do you mean?
Because they're supposed to be stoic. I think that's what they were going for with all the cast, is that they were supposed to be standing there stoic, but it didn't come across that way.
How'd you take it?
That they were uninterested in being there.
Oh. I'm interested because we both are autistic, right? And so social cues are a little weird for us sometimes.
Right.
I took it as they were being cheeky. So they had like
I took it as
plans up
I don't care
sleeve.
about being here. I'm standing here, snapping my fingers, and I'm done. Can I go home now?
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, this is a weird ass theme.
Well, we don't know if they'd been on set for 15 hours. Like, we don't know, right?
Well, so the kids are there, so it has to, my guess is it's early morning, and it's one of the first things that they're doing.
Yeah.
Because the kids can't stay on that long.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I didn't get that far into it, but
I got with the theme, and that's the first thing you see, right? Is the theme. Generally, the theme was fine. I think it's a little long in comparison to other themes.
It was super long. I was thinking that, as I was watching it, I was like, oh, can we get through this?
Just get through the song.
But I don't know if that's because it's have modern TV where things are shorter, or sometimes they play a theme song, then they play a little I think you call them a cold open or something like that.
Yeah. Then
they go back and do the credits, and they do the opening, and then we get to their actual show. So there are different ways to open a TV show.
Well, and back then they would try to leave it so that people could jump on within the first few minutes. And so the longer the theme, the longer you had for people to jump in.
Right.
So, yeah.
I would imagine this is probably... But I didn't look up when they broadcast this TV show, but I would imagine it was around dinner or after school or somewhere around there.
I didn't look at that either.
It is a family show.
It is.
Ish. I kept thinking that. Yeah. I don't know. It is an interesting TV show for sure. Well, because the subject matters that are covered, I'm like.
So let's start out with this first episode, right? So first you have we meet a little bit of the family. We see a little bit of the family, and then a truant officer for a school comes up and basically says, your kids need to go to school. Which, fun fact, I didn't know truant officers did that. I thought they only cared if you stopped going to school, not if you never went to school at all.
I don't know.
No, I looked it up. They do.
Oh, okay. I mean, even back then? Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know.
It was based on the community that they knew that children lived there.
Well, and I just realized, talking about this, this is an unmarked place in the U.S.
Right.
We don't know where they are.
They live next to a cemetery. That's as much as we know.
I almost clicked on it. I didn't click on it. Whether or not this was in front of a live audience.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. Yeah. It's all.
It's
camera.
too cutty. It's too cut to be.
Yeah. And this is after I Love Lucy, where they did the multi-camera. So that technology was already in place. And also with the sound editing, I would venture a guess that this was all added later, so it wouldn't be in front of a live audience.
No, that's canned laughter. Definitely canned laughter. Yeah. So they decide to send the kids to school eventually. And then one of the fairy tales that they tell at school is about killing a dragon. And that's a problem for the Addams. Fair, fine. Don't want to kill a dragon. Whatever. And yeah, I don't know. This episode didn't tell me much about the characters.
No, it said more about their interaction with the community.
Right.
Rather than
who they are.
Yeah. And I know that with the camera work and everything, that as they move along to each character, I don't know if you noticed this, it felt like a phone tree where you meet one character. Oh, that's not who that does that. We need to go to so-and-so. And that's not who does that. That was
supposed to be the introduction.
Yeah.
But it didn't really introduce the characters.
It didn't.
To be honest, it just made them seem like rich white folks, which, again, Gomez is supposed to be Hispanic from Spain.
Yeah, he is.
He's not. The actor is not.
No.
So that's a problem.
Right, all in itself.
That's an inequality problem, all on its own. So, yeah. And it just didn't make any sense.
I think they relied a lot on props. So when we meet Morticia, she's in with her plants, right?
She is. She's with her plants.
That's part of her interest.
She's got Cleopatra.
Yeah. And then when we meet Gomez, he's with his train and, wants to make it explode and all these things. So, yeah, when we meet each of the characters, they're all doing something that they would normally be doing in their spare time. So Fester and Grandmama were playing in the playroom, and I put playing in quotes because she's throwing darts.
They're playing darts with knives.
Knives, yes. So
they're playing darts with knives. It's not a big deal.
That's okay, sure. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm with you. It was a little truncated. It was. It was a little lacking in plot.
Yeah, a lot of these are lacking in plot, and I think part of that is because they're trying to take the comic stills and then create a plot around that, but they're not creating enough of a plot.
Right. It's still too.
It's too little.
Yeah, there's still too much space in between each concept.
And a lot of it is just, let's have them doing something weird.
Yeah. That didn't come across well either.
And it didn't come across as them being spooky or scary. And every time people would come into the house, I'm like, it's a house. It's not that scary.
Right?
Yes, there's some taxidermy, but, whatever. People do that. It's fine.
Well, and I found myself thinking in the off hours, right, away from watching it, about the family culture. And I was like, do they have a family culture?
I don't know, because they continue to talk about family honor. That comes up multiple times.
Right.
The Addams family honor. And I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It was very interesting. And something else that comes up a lot. Uh-oh. It's gone. Never mind. I had a thought. It's gone now.
It was a wispy thought. I didn't even see it go.
It was there and then it's gone. One thing I wanted to point out for the first episode is that Gomez mentions how he wouldn't know what to do during the day without the kids being home, which is different than what you would normally think of back then, is that the wife would be the most concerned about
they don't
that.
have traditional roles because they are a level above
They
that.
are. Yes.
I was actually thinking about that today, in that Morticia is a kept wife, trophy, as it were, for the trope, but not a traditional wife. So she's not trad. She's a representational piece of the family, which we go back to honor, which is a social construct for the upper classes and financial class, right?
Yeah. There's several times where I'm like, do they do anything for the house?
Right.
Do Gomez and Morticia do anything?
I actually made a note. I was like, Lurch and Thing run and manage the house.
Well, and I think Fester and Grandmama do too.
So Fester runs like the disciplinary stuff for the children.
Well, he takes care of the kids.
Yeah, he's like the nanny for the kids.
It's not just disciplinary. He takes care of them in any way, shape, or form.
Right. The roles are not defined, but we can sort of surmise and infer from what we've learned.
Oh, that's what was my thought. I found it. I found the thought. Is that they don't clarify how everyone's related to each other. They continue to say family.
That annoyed me.
Right, the family honor. They would just say Addams honor, but they wouldn't say like what Morticia's original last name was, or who her family is, or
we don't know
where Fester fits in.
We don't know where Fester fits in, and we don't know where Grandmama. They
continue to call her Grandmama or Mama.
Mama, you're right.
And who knows where that is on either side of Gomez or Morticia. We don't know.
And when the cousin comes to visit, I'm like, okay, maybe we'll get some answers. Nope.
No, but we do know she's Morticia's cousin.
Right?
That's about it. Yeah, there was unclear of who the hell they are.
And we didn't get any answers in episode 1.
We didn't get any episodes.
And we didn't get any episodes in the last episode we watched either.
No, there's no answers. There's one hint at it, and Fester says, "You're my favorite nephew." And this is way later. It's in episode 8. When Gomez is trying to die. This is not an episode we were going to originally talk about, but when Gomez is wanting to die, because he doesn't want to give up Morticia. Longer story. Watch the episode. You'll find out. It's weird. Miscommunication leads to somebody wanting to die. 60s. 60s storytelling. Anyway. So Fester mentions how Gomez is his favorite nephew. And so I looked up the family tree. Oh. Fester's on the other fucking side.
That's amazing.
Fester's on Morticia's side. I don't know what the hell he's talking about here.
In-law?
Maybe.
Nephew-in-law?
So, but in the whole first 1 through 17, because we didn't do the whole first season. We didn't mention that earlier.
No, we didn't. I was going to mention that here. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do the whole first season. We did episode 1 through 17. There's just too many episodes in the first season.
There's too many episodes, and we have enough material.
We do.
We could pull probably 3 of these episodes, podcasts on. Well, we're not going to do that to you guys. So
no.
We're going to condense everything.
Yeah, so we did 1 through 17, but in these first 17 episodes, we do not find out how everyone is related to each other, and who knows if that even happens in this series at all.
Yeah, so I was also trying to dig out, what do people do, right? They have staff. They've got 2 able-bodied women that live in the house that apparently don't have jobs. And it seems like they have old money. They have invested money. And Gomez is a lawyer, which I'd never heard him spout anything in the 17 episodes I watched.
Besides him saying that he's a lawyer? Yeah, I don't know.
So they just have a lot of time on their hands. So there's a lot of creativity that gets indulged and
pushed upon other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
life is a science experiment. That's the description of Addams Family.
That's true. So that's the first episode. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about with the whole? We kind of went on a different tangent about the whole show in general, but
As far as the family and stuff? Yeah. No, I think we covered everything that I wanted to.
Okay, so episode 3 is about Fester wanting to get a wife. Basically. And up until this point, I'm going to be honest, I thought Fester might be gay.
That would have fit, actually.
Right? I was like, that would have worked.
Interesting. Ooh, now I have a whole new concept to think about. There are no LGBT representation. There is not people of color in this episode, in this series. Not up until, there's not any in the 17 episodes that we watched. So
no,
yeah, I'm so sorry, people, but this is not a
equal show.
It's all white, very white privilege.
It's so privileged. Oof. It is literally rich people doing weird shit
and
forcing their will on other people.
Yeah,
because there are
incorporating that. Yeah,
several times where they kidnap people, force them to stay in their house against their will.
I literally had the thought that their house is like a spider's web, and once you step foot into it captures.
Stuck.
Now, I did watch The Gate. I don't know if you watched The Gate each time the episode that they had people coming inside their gate. So every time a man walked through, the gate would shut and then make clink, clink, and it would clank the two connectors. The one woman who went through, the makeup lady, it didn't do that.
Nice.
I don't know if that was a gender thing or...
Well, that brings us to this episode.
Trap the woman? I don't know.
I don't know. That brings us to this episode because she's in this episode.
She is in this episode. Yeah.
So Fester decides he wants to marry. I don't know why. And
lonely?
I guess.
Again, too much time on their hands?
Yeah, and then they...
This episode, I just want to roll my eyes. They not only push the idea to have Fester find a wife, right? Or find a partner or something, whatever. It's heteronormative, so apologies, guys, but...
Well, and he puts an ad out for himself.
He puts an ad out and then expects it to be responded to like less than 24 hours.
Right.
With the perfect person.
Right.
So that's like not realistic, which then speaks to their privilege, right? They were not going to be able to connect to that, that aspect of anything. And so that was one thing that he had high hopes. He had high expectations out of the result of this action.
And nothing happened. Nothing came of that ad. Because the lady who did show up was selling makeup.
Yeah, she was a random salesperson.
She was just going door to door selling makeup.
Yeah.
That's what she does as a job.
Right.
Yeah. I will say Morticia has a great line in this. She says, "Oh, you men, you're much fussier than women."
There's more truth to that than not.
Right? I was like, okay.
What was annoying to me about the lady who was selling makeup, is that she entered into the home, said her highs and all that, did the social small talk, whatnot, but then she didn't explain why she was there.
Right.
And they had already assumed that she was answering the ad. Like, they
didn't explain, like, they didn't ask why she was there.
No.
They just assumed.
Nobody communicated.
Again, miscommunication. 60s. That's how we make storylines.
I guess.
Yeah. So there's a lot.
So the other thing that irritated me about this episode, not only is it heteronormative, that's one. Number two, Fester's expectations are way too outside the box. They're just not going to happen. And then Fester talks about this endeavor, this action, right, as taking a bride.
Yes.
And I put that in quotes. And then Morticia says something along the lines of, "You just can't take a bride. Those belong to other people."
Right.
Which is super funny in a way.
It is funny.
But also speaks to the possession of women.
It does.
And then if you take in so this is the fourth thing. Mail order bride came up later. And I was like, this is what they're trying to do, is a mail order bride.
But that's not what that is.
No, it's not. We'll get in. I have a whole history on mail order bride. Short history I can go into. So anyway, and then my head went to, you mean human trafficking? So I was like,
yeah,
that wasn't a short leap. I mean, that was a short leap. It wasn't a long leap. So anyway, yeah, this whole episode was like, no. No.
Yeah. And then there's at one point where Gomez tries to push Fester to just kiss her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wrote a
and
lady
even Morticia gets onto him.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I said she ends up running out when she is sexualized and promised to Fester. That's what I wrote.
Yep. Oh, yep.
It's gross, people. That's gross.
Right.
So a little bit on mail order brides.
Okay, go ahead.
So the connotation, like the words mail order bride sounds really super disturbing, right?
It does.
But what I found out is that that's not exactly how that means. So a mail order bride was a woman whose introduction to her husband or her potential husband came through the mail. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. And one who made plans to marry him before meeting in person. So if you think modern terms,
right,
you're putting your profile on the computer, right, and whatever the algorithm programs or whatever. So
and it's just like
you actually
talking to
state
somebody
that you're willing to get married, or that's what your goal is, to have a long-term relationship, right? You're actually stating the truth and honesty right from the start. You're not going to hide anything around that. So that was the whole point. The communication style was just the mail. That's how you could communicate with other people.
Well, and a lot of times it ended up being international.
Yeah, there were different ways of doing that. So that's why it became mail order brides. Now, I wouldn't say that because of the heteronormative and patriarchal society we live in, that brides took that rather than mail order husbands. So can we have mail order husbands?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and do that.
And then if you want to add a little LGBTQ spice to it, we can just do mail order partners. How about that?
I mean, that's the best option.
And then
but the most spiteful option is mail order husbands.
Right.
And I'm fine with spiteful. We
could do mail order poly partners too. Just be real inclusive with all of it.
There we go. All of it.
So a little bit of the history on that was that between the 1900s and the 1920s, newspaper reporters used the phrase mail order brides. Now, reporters were definitely men back then, so this is why the brides rather than the husbands. They used the mail order bride to describe the women who were seeking out husbands. This is such a weird concept. Okay. Neither the men nor the women who would come together in a mail order marriage ever self-identified that way, though. Then the people engaging in this practice never identified themselves as mail order.
Of course they didn't.
So this was the media.
Of course.
Identifying these people. So, so what I was talking about, the modern take on it is when you are honest and say, I want a long-term relationship, or I'm looking to get married, or whatever, right? So if you wrote in your letter, how you would end it would be object matrimony. And I actually read that because my neurodivergent brain, object matrimony. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But the objective is to be married.
The objective.
So, prior to the 20th century, newspapers refer to the same phenomenon as correspondence courtship or an epistolary courtship.
Okay.
So, it considers any relationship that was facilitated by the male to be of the mail order variety, regardless of the terminology that the original authors used.
Gotcha.
So, it's not trafficking humans.
It's not.
They're consenting to be trafficked. Guess would be the right way to say that.
That's weird. No, don't say it like that.
Don't say it like that.
All right, so moving on. Thank you for that tidbit.
You're welcome.
Moving on. Let's go to episode 9. New neighbors meet the Addams family. Now,
same kind of crudola, man.
There's a lot of things to this episode. The main thing is that these newlyweds are moving into a house that is owned by the Addams. Mm-hmm. Next door or nearby, whatever. And number one, there's a tunnel from the Addams house to said house.
In the living room, no less.
In the living room. Didn't warn the new homeowners of that, or home renters.
Yeah, they were renters.
Of that, number one. Number two, these are newlyweds. Why the hell did the Addams keep going over there? Leave them the fuck alone.
Right?
They just got married and they're moving in to this house. Literally just got married that morning.
This is the thing about...
Leave them the fuck alone.
This kind of TV. So Fester was wanting to get together and married, right away, right?
Right.
And just have this complete distortion of the reality of how that would even come about.
Right.
Then you get this couple in episode 9, and the wife is like, I just went to the Justices of Peace today, got married today. We don't have a honeymoon to go on.
Nope, no honeymoon.
And we're renting a house, we're not buying a house. So basically she's super pissed.
Well, and she's renting a house. They're renting a house that she never got to see beforehand.
Right. She had no input. Right. There's no consent in any of this, other than the fact that she said yes to get married.
Right. And she speaks in vows.
Right.
It was very weird because she mentions in the beginning, in sickness and in health, for better or for worse, we're stuck in this thing together.
Yep.
And then she also says later, well, love, honor is one thing, but why did they have to say obey? So she just, like, using the vows that they said earlier that day as a way of speaking.
I just got the image of if you think of a social construct as a bind, right? And you wrap a woman up in some sort of, like, I don't know, bandage, like, you know, and you just wrap her. That's social constructs. And she's like wiggling and squirming and stuff. And that's basically what she's expressing here is, she's like, why am I indulging in this social construct here? At
one point where she says, Hubert, either get me another house or get yourself another wife.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they're so close to just not being together before 24 hours are up.
Right.
Because that's the thing, is that while divorce was not an option, annulment was a thing.
Yeah. So she was still exercising some power there.
Yes.
Whatever little she had left over.
Right.
So basically it sounds like she consented to him taking care of her, which is the social construct.
And then he's not doing it to the level that she wants.
She was not pleased. No.
Yeah. And then also the Addams are very imposing.
Oh my God.
They kept giving them things, putting it in their house.
Right.
They
infiltrating their space and time.
Over.
Yeah.
There was just
feeding them. I think they even invited them over for a bridge game. Invited
them over for bridge game on the night that they moved into this new house and their wedding night.
Yeah.
Leave them the hell alone.
Yeah.
Just leave them alone.
And they even said, we haven't heard from them in a while. And then
it's like a day later.
Right. And I don't remember which partner said it, but one of them said, oh, but it's their honeymoon. We should leave them alone.
Right.
You think?
Well, and they're
probably still fighting from the day before.
Right. Just leave them alone. God. So. If you haven't heard from them in the first, after the first week, maybe go over, give them something. I don't know.
Do you want a little side jaunt on bridge game?
Sure.
Educate the listeners on bridge.
Sure, yeah.
Playing bridge is a card game, with an actual deck of cards, right?
And I Love Lucy does bridge games too.
Yeah, they do.
They were very popular back then.
Yeah, it was very popular. And every time I read the instructions for bridge, I'm like, what?
I feel we'd have to play to learn it.
Yeah, I think so, because man, there is a specific verbiage and vernacular for that. Yeah,
they mention a kibitz in this twice in this episode alone, and I was like, I'm not even going to look up what a kibitz is.
Yeah, I started to look into a little bit of the history of the bridge game because I was like, I don't know anything about it other than it's a complicated game, and it's apparently fun to play. But anyway, bridge is a card game based in the 16th century.
Damn, okay.
On a trick card game called whist. Whist. Yes.
Okay.
So that's the extent. I could totally go into it, but I'm not going to do that because y'all can look that up on the Googles.
Right.
Anyway, that was my little tidbit about that. We can go back to the...
Okay, so going back to the episode, the other thing about this episode, there's two things I wanted to mention about this episode. When they're trying to not be imposing on the new neighbors, but also trying to get the new neighbors' attention, they're washing the octopus.
Yes.
Number one, the octopus is rubber. It's always been rubber. His name is Aristotle. But it's always been rubber as the actual prop. But you wouldn't wash an octopus.
Nope.
It can't breathe.
You also wouldn't put it in a tub of bubbly soap.
Bubbly soap in a wheelbarrow.
And you wouldn't be outside.
Wheelbarrow.
You wouldn't be outside.
You wouldn't be out. There's a lot of things that wouldn't be happening.
And why does it take 2 people to wash an octopus? I mean,
why are you washing an octopus? That's the first question.
I mean, we know it's a ruse, right?
Right.
That they're trying to do something outside to catch the neighbors and like spy on them and to
but
find
why
out
are you washing an octopus?
Why are they so fucking nosy?
Right? Again, they've got too much fucking time on their hands.
They have too much time on their hands, and they're curious about other family culture, I think, too.
I think so.
To think outside. They just don't have a lot of interest in what they've been doing. And
yeah, they do get bored. They at one point they do mention that they're in a rut. That's another episode, but not in this one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention in this episode is that this is the only time that we see one of the characters have a supernatural element. And that doesn't include Thing. Thing is its own thing. Morticia asks, "Can I smoke?" And then she smokes up herself.
Yeah.
And that's the only time a supernatural-ish element is brought up. It was just...
Well, then she questions herself later about it, too. Like, should I have done that? Or
was that rude?
Right?
I don't know.
That's so weird.
It's the only time a supernatural element was brought up. I do want to mention at some other point...
There is another supernatural element to the Addams family specifically. Fester, apparently. I had this for
his electric.
Yeah, he can put a light bulb in his mouth and turn it on.
Well, it's not just that. He can recharge through the ear.
Right.
And then he adds charge for the code thing when they're when they're sending radio waves out.
Electricity
which again,
in him.
Another privileged white thing to do.
So apparently his background is he's got struck by lightning and now he has this sort of supernatural ability.
They didn't explain that.
No, they didn't. I had to look it up.
Because they probably created that after the fact.
It's probably in the comics. Like the strips.
They're not strips, they're single panes.
Or whatever, yeah.
That's where I'm like, I don't know if all of these characters, when they were brought from the comics over, were mostly nameless and had very little background. Some of the names like Morticia and Wednesday, I think came from dolls that were first.
Oh, how funny.
And then the rest of the cast was just given names.
Oh, funny. Do you know what Wednesday's full name is?
Wednesday, Friday.
Yes.
Addams.
I love that. I was like, ooh, I really like that. Wednesday, Friday, Addams.
Yep. Yeah, Wednesday, Friday, Addams. Well, we'll get to that. But yeah, this is the only real time that there's a supernatural element. There is a mention at one point when they're doing a family tree. This is earlier, but about witches, and Morticia says something. Oh, we know that witches were burned at the stake at Salem. That is not true. Witches were not burned at the stake at Salem.
No, women were burned at the stake.
No, that didn't even happen.
Really?
Nothing was burned. They were hanged and stoned, but that's it.
Blew my mind.
They were burned
right now.
Witches were burned at the stake over in England, not here. It never happened.
Oh, interesting.
It never happened in Salem.
Wow.
Anyway,
that's a new rabbit hole for me to look at later.
You're welcome. I meant to go down that rabbit hole, and I didn't even put that into my notes. That's just in my head.
Okay.
Knowledge from my head. Anything else for episode 9?
Mm-mm.
About these crazy neighbors. By that, I mean the Addams.
I mean, the whole heteronormative social constructs was really...
Yeah.
It's very smothering.
Well, they're smothering.
They are.
Because they're bored.
Right?
They're bored rich people.
It's basically you're being in not even invited. It's you're being
enveloped.
Yes, that's a very good word. Enveloped into their
world.
Yeah, their world, their privilege, their decision making, you're
and you have no say.
No, that's why I think of a spider's web where you get caught and you're like stuck to the fibers of that and you can't get out of the web. Mm-hmm. The second you go into that gate, your consent is done.
Right? So let's move on to episode 10. This is when we find out that Wednesday's middle name is Friday.
Yes.
But Wednesday, this episode is called Wednesday Leaves Home.
Mm-hmm.
because she wants to run away. She wants to run away.
Now she's in this season. She's 5, 5, somewhere in there. Yeah,
something like that. She's really young. She's
very tiny.
She's very cute.
She's very cute. Yeah.
I don't think she'd like me calling her cute, but she's very cute.
She's very cute. With her headless doll.
Right?
Yes.
I just find her adorable. Anyway, but she's using Fester's dynamite caps, which have more power to them. Mm-hmm. And so they ground her from her spider, and so she decides to run away.
Right.
Which she doesn't actually run away. Pugsley has the great idea of not running away and pretending to run away. And then she says, then I can run away and still be around to see them suffer. Yes, you can.
Yes. Yeah. I thought this particular episode was us getting a glimpse into Wednesday's.
Well, it's just the children.
Yeah, the children. Yeah. The character building, right? Yeah.
Just a little bit, very little. But my problem with this whole episode is the detective, super high strung, a lot of missing kids.
Very overworked.
Very overworked.
Also, why are there so many kids being missing in one little area?
I tried to look up stats for the 60s of missing kids, but back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, even into 80s, there was a high spike of crime just in general. Mm-hmm. So I'm not surprised, but also that was way too many for depending on how big that town is.
Right? And why is one officer handling over 350 cases of missing children?
Right? What the hell is happening there?
Right?
Anyway, so this detective is too high strung. But when he gets there after they find out that Wednesday's okay, she's with Pugsley, he doesn't ask to see the children.
Right? Doesn't lay eyeballs on them.
Right? No, he just accepts that and moves on. And then when Wednesday actually runs away, and then they find her, the cops do, the parents don't go to check that she's still there.
Nope. They just assume she is. And they don't talk to Pugsley.
No. And the person who does talk to Pugsley is Fester.
Right.
And he knows exactly where Wednesday is.
Right.
And he shows up to get her.
Yep.
Fester is the parent. Fester is the parent.
Yep. He's the one taking care of them.
The Gomez and Morticia do not know what their children are doing, nor do I think they care.
Ish, right?
Like, they care to an extent.
They do care to an extent.
But it's more about their image and their family honor than anything else.
And it's also, they allow super high creativity. They allow super high curiosity to
an extent. If you go into the normal realm of things, quote unquote, they're against that.
Oh my God, Pugsley and his Boy Scout baseball, all of that. Yeah, that was interesting. Because they thought he was moving into the wrong realm of things, right?
Right.
Even though he was utilizing the culture he had learned to just learn about the things that he was interested in. So yeah, he was just trying on stuff, basically.
Right, and testing thing out.
Yeah.
And, seeing what being Boy Scout would be like.
Right.
That's fine. That's what they do as a family, but because it was normal, no, you can't do that.
Right. It was in the normal, what they would deem as normal, right?
Anyway, I don't think Morticia and Gomez are that great of parents.
Did you catch what Wednesday's note was when she ran away the first time?
No, I don't remember what she said.
Oh my gosh, I had to write it down. It was so cute. Again, Wednesday.
Oh, I just remembered, but it was short.
So, her note says, "Dear Mother and Father, I hate you. Love, Wednesday." With a P.S. it says, "Don't bother looking for me because I am not anywhere." W.
Very cute.
I thought that was so darling.
Again, she's cute.
Right?
Yeah. There is a thing in this episode where after the sergeant comes back and Gomez and Morticia think that he's having some kind of breakdown. Mm-hmm. And so Gomez says, "Come on, old chap, give Daddy the gun." And that just skeeved me out.
Oh, yeah.
Skeeved me out. And then also, why do they have so many badges?
I don't know. I don't know. That was weird.
Right? I was like, okay, so you're paying off some cops? What are you doing here?
They do have politicians and cops in their
right? What rich hell is this?
Right? Yeah. Another skeevy thing was that Pugsley had a line. This little boy had a line that says, women, once they make up their minds.
I found that funny. I found it funny.
But
Sorry.
I'm just like, they're building that social construct of, we have some power over women, but once they make up their minds, that power is done, right?
He gave all the power to his sister.
He did.
And walked away.
Well, that speaks to later Wednesdays, when the iterations of Wednesdays later, when she's like, I'm going to take Pugsley to go test, an electric current or whatever the hell, right? And they're like, okay, kids, have fun. They just let them go.
Well, one thing I do want to mention about Wednesday, which was annoying, and it came up many times, was that when Wednesday was walking with somebody that she just met, she grabbed their hand.
Yep.
And that bothered me.
Yep.
Especially as she's a 6-year-old girl.
Think of the trust, though, that she's been taught that, adults are safe. And, yeah. This is what privilege will do, though. It'll blind you.
It will.
Yeah. And make you vulnerable, right? And she's not been taught of the vulnerability. Now, if we take Wednesday as the whole character, oh boy. You try to kidnap that kid, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. Because she knows stuff.
She's also the one who punched the kid from the birthday party.
Right.
Not Pugsley.
Yeah, and Morticia and Gomez had no opinion on that. They didn't care. The father of the kid did. Yeah. Yeah, I remember writing that down.
Because he said something about, he must have had his back turned.
Right.
Yeah. In his eye? Right. Still got punched in the eye? That doesn't make sense.
The talent that Wednesday has.
Right? How did Wednesday do that? Anything else about that?
No.
Okay.
I think that's it for that one.
We've got 2 more that I wanted to highlight, and these should be somewhat shorter. Episode 12, Morticia the Matchmaker. So this is when we meet Morticia's cousin, Melancholia. And
Which I love her name, by the way.
It's a great name. But she comes to the Addams because she thinks, let me clarify this, she thinks her fiance has left her to go to the Foreign Legion.
Right.
Which I have a little thing about the Foreign Legion.
I have that too, so yeah.
Well, you can take it if you want.
I briefly looked it up. So there's the Foreign Legion, which is the only one that I know of exists.
It's
a French Foreign Legion.
So that's the most popular, but there are other Foreign Legions as well. It's basically a military unit composed primarily of foreign nationals for another country.
Right. This is
They're fighting for another country.
The concept of you being an American citizen would be foreign to us. You would go and then be part of the Foreign Legion on that other side.
In the French side.
Because you'd be the foreign person. Yeah. So, yeah.
Anyway, there's also the American Legion, which is where the fiance actually was going, which is part of the veterans. Mm-hmm. It's a veterans organization. Started
Still in practice today.
Yeah. It's about supporting veterans and service members and their families through various programs. They also do advocacy. They're the ones who got the GI Bill created and stuff like that. Awesome. Anyway, but that's where he actually went. And she also complains about him taking the ring back, but that's because it was turning her finger green.
Right. We find out later.
He went and got a new one for her.
Did she either doesn't listen.
Right.
Or he didn't communicate well, or something in between.
Or both.
Right.
The answer is probably, why not both? But anyway, so during this whole episode, Morticia is trying to set Melancholia up.
Right off the bat.
Immediately. They just broke up like that morning.
Tried to partner her with Thing and with Lurch and...
Yeah.
My head hurts from all of the matchmaking.
Right? There's so much. And I was like, she just left her fiance. Or he left her. Whatever.
Right?
Why are you trying to throw her at another man already? Give her time. Give her space.
She didn't want to take the time.
She didn't, though. She didn't. So then they find a lawyer that they've worked with before who did not want to go.
Nope.
Didn't want to be there.
He already knew about them or had been there or whatever. So
yeah, we'd never met him before. I did ask at one. I wrote in my notes, did we see this lawyer before?
No. No, not at all.
The poor guy, and he gets sexually assaulted because she just kisses him at some point.
I am shaking my head right now.
And of course, that's when her fiance finally shows up.
He also gets accosted with love dust 3 times, which doesn't work on him.
No.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is. But, yeah. This is where the marriage broker came up.
Yeah, so a marriage broker is a professional that arranges marriages for a fee.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a matchmaker person, right?
One thing I found
I've never heard of the term marriage broker. I've heard of matchmaker before, but not marriage person, marriage broker. Yeah.
One thing I found interesting was, why didn't she have the same persona as the Addams, as Melancholia? Not until later. When she first shows up, she's wearing a flower dress, white gloves. Mm-hmm. She's just not.
Her hair is done in buns on either side of her head.
She doesn't have the air of an Addams or whatever the hell the name is supposed to be.
But I wonder too if that's her way of trying to infiltrate. Trying to be a part of the normal world or the normal social
maybe
constructs.
I don't know. I just found it interesting that she was wearing a flower dress.
We don't know anything about the family tree.
We know nothing. So, and she's Morticia's cousin. So we
apparently
don't know
the two of them are like 2 peas in a pod. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything else for this episode?
No, just super annoying, and grandmama with her love dust that doesn't even work.
Right.
So I guess that's another supernatural element to it.
But it doesn't work, so it's just dust. Work.
Yeah, it's just stuff thrown in people's face, and the whole time I'm thinking, is this flour? What is this that they're...
It's probably flour.
The poor actors, because they had it thrown into their eyes.
Yeah.
Right, and it stuck to their face, which I was like, that's weird. How did that happen? But flour will stick to your face.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it was flour.
That would be my guess. The last episode we wanted to talk about was episode 15, The Addams Family Meets a Beatnik.
This was my favorite out of all of them.
I don't like how it ended, but overall I like Rocky.
Why didn't you like how it ended?
Because it's magically all better. Things are fine now. Stop that bullshit.
This is TV.
I know, but it's very 60s TV.
I mean...
Everything's magically wrapped up in a bow at the end.
Of course.
Stop.
Of course.
No.
And it was two privileged families.
It was.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is that, so he was running from that. And then...
I mean, the title implies that, right? The Addams meet a beatnik.
Right?
Yeah, which I have a description of a beatnik.
Oh, sure. We described it in the Munsters episode. But you can go ahead.
Okay, so beatniks, emerging in the 50s, emphasized literature, poetry, and jazz, often portrayed with a more subdued intellectual aesthetic. Mm-hmm. Which was not this dude.
No.
Yeah, no.
He wasn't a beatnik.
No, he was not a beatnik. I don't know why they even use that word there.
He was a privileged kid.
He was a privileged
who was
kid.
Running from his dad.
He was rebelling.
Who was rebelling, and that's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
Because when his father finally catches up to him, right?
Right.
He just relents and is like, just get the handcuffs out. And,
again, the social construct is binding people, right?
Right. Well, and the thing about it is that because of how what he did with his hands, and then that the father instinctively went for his pocket, I was like, so he's actually been putting this kid in handcuffs.
Wow.
Like, that's a thing.
Wow.
That is happening.
Wonder if the actor was directed to do that.
Well, so what he was actually pulling out was the motorcycle car keys.
Oh, but the action implied or inferred.
I was like, oh,
Eesh.
My God.
Eesh. So, opposite of beatnik is hippie, where he fits more to that. I don't know why they use the word beatnik, because it doesn't fit.
It doesn't.
But the word hippie does. Hippies are prominent in the 1960s, embraced rock music, vibrant clothing, and more outward expression of communal living and social change, which is what this dude seems to be on board with, right?
Right.
Also, it's the 1960s, so that makes sense. So beatnik doesn't fit here.
It doesn't fit here. You're
weird.
right.
Yeah. So
This whole episode, it just annoyed me. I liked Rocky as a character. I liked that he connected with the kids because Morticia and Gomez don't. So he connects with them.
I liked how kind they were in trying to take care of him. They provided a safe place for him to be. They fed him. They nursed his wounds. They even fixed his bike. Like they used their privilege for good, right? Which we don't get to see very often in this show.
I did like that part of this episode. However, at the very beginning, so the episode right before this is when they kidnap Sam Picasso.
I hated that one.
And they force him to stay painting. Anyway, but so it goes to this episode, and they basically kidnap this dude again. And I was like, stop kidnapping people.
I didn't even put that in the warnings.
Stop kidnapping
people. The thing is,
people.
They're not necessarily kidnapped. They are trapped because they consent to go into the world of, right, the Addams family.
Well, and this guy doesn't even consent to that because he crashed in their front yard.
No, yeah. I mean, even to the point that he was trying to leave, right? They wouldn't
He did eventually just stay.
He did, on his own accord.
Yeah.
But I think he started to see that he was being treated well.
Right.
So.
This is the only time where they seem to actually treat their guests well. It was weird.
I mean, there were a lot of, social norms, right? With having people over for tea and, providing them comfort with their chairs, put them in the good chair, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, which I have a comment about Lurch. But for this particular episode, what I found to be interesting is not only was the Addams really, really sweet and nice and used their privilege for good, and they weren't so outside the aspects of taking care of someone, right? That they found that to be something that they wanted to do, it's not unbecoming of their privilege, right? Mm-hmm. So that was one thing. And then when they did a surprise birthday party or whatever, and his dad came to the realization that his son will never be like him, right? That he had to give him a little room to be himself, which is what all parents should be striving for, is to allow your children to grow in a way that they're their own independent person.
So that part I liked. My problem with it is that Rocky decided to just give up everything.
No, that was super disappointing. Yeah.
He gave up the bike too. He gave up everything, and I was why?
And then he ends up working for the firm.
Yeah, and he ends up working for the firm, and I was like, so you just completely forgave him for however many years of hell that made you run away?
But maybe Rocky decided that, the sacrifice was going to be too big, because if he walked away from it, he was walking away from all of it. It was an all or nothing kind of thing.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. But it was still, they didn't explain it well.
No, It's kind of a coming of age kind of story, a little bit.
Yeah.
It was weird,
know. But
it was my favorite of all of them, except for when Wednesday ran away. Those two were my favorites.
I have to say, just quick shout-out mention to Lurch learning how to dance. That was great physical comedy from Ted Cassidy. So
I have a little bit about Lurch that I noticed on his character. Ted Cassidy is the best. I think John Astin was also pretty good at the acting. Everybody else came after for me. Morticia, the Carolyn Jones, didn't have a lot to do with her, I guess because of physical comedy.
She couldn't do a lot of physical comedy because of that
strapped in the dress.
So that brings us to costuming.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about Morticia's dress real quick, because it goes all the way down to her feet.
Yep.
And so she can only take really tiny steps.
Right.
And you never see her go upstairs, really, because she can't.
Nope. No, the actress can't, for sure.
No, she can't really go upstairs. And there's supposed to be tentacles at the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know if they're plant tentacles.
I don't know.
Or aquatic
tentacles. It's based again on the comic. The comic has that. That's what she looks like.
Interesting.
And she stands with her hands folded.
Right?
Yeah.
Which I find interesting, because in body language, you learn you're closed off. You're not willing to be engaging. But for her, that's not what that means.
No.
It seems to portray her as being reserved, like an observer, and wanting to reserve herself for an opinion until she has all of what she needs to make an opinion. That's best I can come up with of that. But I was going to, if we can go back to Lurch right quick.
Yeah, sure.
So a couple things I noticed about him. So every time that he would have someone come to the door and then escort them, would be the best way I can describe this. And usually it's a man. And most men at that time period were wearing hats.
Yep.
So I don't know if you noticed this, but every time Ted Cassidy would grab
the hat,
he would scrunch it.
Yep.
Like he would just take his whole hand like he was enveloping a basketball and grab the hat off the man's head. And it just cracked me up every time he did it. And then he would pick people up.
He would.
I don't know, he has strong back or something, because he would just throw people around like a rag doll and place them in the chairs and all that. He was super gentle with everybody, but the fact that he could pick people up.
Very lightly.
Different, yeah.
Like he was very gentle.
Yeah, he was very gentle. It looked like it was like light as a feather kind of situation. So dude was super strong. Yeah, or he even knew how to like balance and use his body. And he's a big dude. I don't know how tall he is, but
I can look it up.
He can use his body in a way that I was really surprised and also delighted with, actually. So, and then he's
6'9". He's 6'9".
6'9", and then his deep grunt growl.
So originally he wasn't supposed to have any lines. That was the plan. Sense. Was that he was not going to have any lines, and then he ad-libbed a line, "You rang."
Right.
And so they started giving him lines. Because they liked it so much.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good actor. I super enjoyed his performance, his iteration of the character. His makeup needed a little work, but we have to remember that it was
all of their makeup needed to be
right.
worked.
It was on small tube TV. It probably didn't portray the way it does on our
a lot of things is that this family is just a normal family, and so their makeup is just not that great. I don't know what it is.
Right. Yeah.
Even the makeup lady pointed out.
Right. It's done in black and white,
it is.
Which was a cost thing. They wanted to keep, which makes sense now that we're talking about like the camera work and the editing and stuff. So they put money into other things, probably special effects stuff, right?
Right.
And also the editing to make it look like special effects and the supernatural stuff. So yeah, it was intentional. I looked it up.
Because they have some props too. So
yeah.
And then they also had to pay for all of the live animals.
Yes.
There were so many live animals.
And the handlers that go with that. Yeah. And safety features and all of that.
There's a reason you don't see the lion any more than just on set. You don't see him with characters.
Right? Yeah.
You don't see kitty cat with anybody else.
Did you look at the lion's paws?
Huge.
Oh my God. It's like little babies just on the ends of the paws. It's huge paws. They looked bigger than what the cat should have. So I don't even know if the cat was even... the lion was full grown. Yeah. I think it was actually adolescent probably.
Probably.
Oof. Big kitty cat.
So going into costuming, I know we jumped a little bit into it and then we went back.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now we'll go into costuming.
So did you notice that on Gomez's suit? It was super annoying the whole time. His suit is too big.
Yes. But that was the style of the time, if I understand it correctly.
Actually, I want to say no. He should be in tailored suits.
Maybe.
And it speaks to his privilege. So him wearing an oversized suit, either they were trying to make him look more quote-unquote powerful or whatever, but he's not really that tall. And Lurch,
Lurch is huge.
Yeah. And also, John Astin and Carolyn Jones are around the same height. In fact, I would say maybe even Carolyn Jones might be a little taller. I'm not sure. But the fact that they had Gomez in a suit that wasn't tailored doesn't speak to the privilege of the money they have. Right. It's like he had a hand-me-down. And you couple that with Morticia's dress is so bodycon, right? It's very tailored. And she talks about her dresses and everything, how gorgeous and beautiful they are.
Yeah.
So she gets her shit tailored or made for her. Why doesn't Gomez? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the costuming didn't make sense to me there. I
assumed it was just a style of the time.
No, I would say
I could be wrong.
The other way around. So in the 80s, we would have larger suits.
Okay, so maybe that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, not in the 60s. 60s was very tailored.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Men's suits, you would go to an actual shop
Right.
and get a suit made for you, especially in that echelon of financial class. Yeah, this does not. No, I don't know what they were trying to portray there. So yeah, and he had a lot of physical comedy too. So I don't know if he was limited by that suit because it was too big. It was just probably 3-4 sizes too big for him.
Well, maybe that's why they had him do the smoking jacket too.
Maybe so he could do more of the physical stuff, like be on his head and stuff like that, which has some stuff up on that. And of course the kids.
Yeah, they were very simplistic, but it was fine.
So interestingly enough, Pugsley is older than Wednesday. I always thought that Wednesday was older than Pugsley.
No, yeah, Pugsley is older. Yeah.
Yeah, I never got that before. So, anyway, Grandmama also looks very disheveled. To have so much time on your hands, you don't have any kind of tailored clothing or anything like that. Uncle Fester, same thing. Like I just threw this robe on, and that's
well, and the kids do too. I'll throw it to the kids as well, but theirs is very simplistic because they're kids.
That makes sense considering they're always running around and doing stuff, right? But when you have the older adults, you'd think that you would want to have a little bit more tailored, polished look, right? Unless you're doing something specific.
Yeah, I don't know.
It didn't seem to fit. Anyway.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. I think maybe the translation from the comic panels to the costuming didn't quite.
Well, I think that's just how it is in general because there's some background things where they haven't figured out how the family fits together. They also haven't figured out more of the background for each character either.
Right.
So this happens with Morticia because she says boobala. Right?
She does. I wrote this down.
That's Yiddish.
It is Yiddish, and I actually
But she's
Googled
supposed
it.
to be French.
Right, she is supposed to be French, and because I looked, I was like, what language are they speaking to each other? So Gomez is supposed to be speaking Spanish, and then Morticia is supposed to be speaking French, and yet she still calls him Boobala, which is Yiddish, which doesn't fit either one of those.
No. It doesn't make any sense.
Cultural appropriation, a little,
There is a lot of that.
There is a lot of that. So apologies to all of the cultures that are represented.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely something for the.
There's a lot of cultural appropriation.
Very white centric appropriation stuff going on there.
All right. Anything else costuming wise? Okay.
No, I have nothing else in costume.
All right, I have some trivia.
I have trivia as
You have some trivia. I'm going to go through my money trivia real quick.
Okay.
Because they mention...
Oh, I have some money trivia, too.
In 3 episodes, they mention money.
Yes.
Episode 4, Episode 5, and Episode 16.
I think I only caught the 5.
Okay. So in Episode 4, they're doing it's the politician episode, and they're doing the donation for the campaign. Yes. Mm-hmm. And so... He keeps going up in numbers.
Yes.
So it's 5,000, 10,000, and 20,000.
Did I catch that? No, I did not catch that.
So 5,000 in nowadays money is $52,025.
Okay.
10,000 is $104,051.
10,000 is 100. Oh my gosh.
Is 104. You're with me?
Yeah.
And then 20,000 is 208,000. Yeah.
Okay.
In episode 5,
which is still just FYI, that's still not enough to become a candidate for any kind of politics.
Nowadays,
that's not enough.
Normal money for campaign donations.
You can't even conceptualize.
But that is astronomical large. In episode 5. It's the land.
Yes, I wrote this down. So I was like, what?
That it's a little bit of land, and he's trying to buy it from them because he thinks there's oil underneath.
Right.
But they've had it checked multiple times. But he doesn't tell them that because he didn't ask. So 1,000 is $10,405. 2,000 is 20,000. And then 3,000 is 31,000.
I love how you conceptualize this because you want to hear how I wrote it. Pomeroy, who's the guy trying to buy the land, offers $1,000 for 1 acre of land. Mm-hmm. The price in 1964 was an average of $143 per acre. This puts us at the offer is 7 times the average at that time in the U.S.
Because I didn't put it in price of land. I put it into inflation of money.
Right. But me thinking of assets, right, and them building assets and stuff like that, Pomeroy was asking for he was offering 7 times the amount.
Because he thought there was oil in it.
Because he thought there was oil in there and he would have a return on it, right?
Yeah, there's no return.
Well, I thought $143 per acre of land. That's crazy. Yeah. Anyway, thought that was interesting. It's also interesting how we both conceptualize that differently.
Right. The last little bit of money is in episode 16, and the plumber asks for $18.
Yes.
And that comes out to $187.
Includes his overalls.
Yes.
New overalls. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, getting a plumber out that was for an hour.
Getting a service person to come out and check on something like that, you're going to be paying $150 upwards. I mean, and that's just in our metro area, that makes sense, right?
Right.
Rural area, you probably get a handshake and a 6-pack of beer. But so yeah, this is $18. I could do $18.
All right. So what is your trivia?
So we talked about the French and Spanish stuff.
Yep.
The PDA, the public display of attention.
God.
Okay, Morticia, as the episodes go on, you can tell that they either the director or the whoever is running the show is like, be more annoyed.
Right.
Because she does get more annoyed, and I'm getting more annoyed because he cannot keep his hands off her.
Right, and it's not love, it's lust.
It is lust.
And it's annoying as shit.
And it's in front of everyone. Like, there's no boundaries to it.
She stops him halfway through to get the mail and then steps back into it so that he can continue.
Yeah. And there's this dance move they do where he needs to lean to answer the phone or whatever, and he takes her with him. Yeah, that's weird. So the whole thing was weird and icked me out.
I think it's supposed to be love, like to show how much of a devotion he has for her, but it doesn't show that.
It doesn't
it's just
read
disgusting.
that way, right? Yeah. I asked the question, what is a harpsichord?
Okay, yeah, I had that.
And I put it for episode 1, but it's in all of the episodes.
Yes.
It is similar to a piano in that it has keys that a player pushes, but inside there's a mechanism that plucks the string rather than So it plucks the string in a corresponding chord, making it sound
because a piano uses hits.
It hits the string.
Yeah, it hits rather than plucks
with a hammer. Yeah. In episode 1, Gomez mentioned something called a telstar.
I had that one. I looked it up.
Oh, you want to do it?
No, you can do it.
This is in your realm of expertise, too.
I can.
Okay.
Telstar is a series of communication satellites. Telstar 1 and Telstar 2 were both experimental and nearly identical. Telstar 1 was launched in 1962, and it relayed the first television pictures, telephone calls, and telegraph images through space.
Isn't that amazing? We stream now through the internet. So I found that to be really cool.
We still use satellites and stuff.
Yeah.
It provided the first live transatlantic television feed. Telstar 2 was launched in 1963. Both of them are no longer functional. However, they're still in orbit.
Of course they are. Space trash.
Space junk.
Okay. I wrote afternoon paper delivery, ? So back in the day, before we had the internet, we had newspapers.
Right.
Which it's printed ink on paper, for those of you who need the antiquated description of that.
Okay.
Because I'm old. No. So newspapers were trying to get breaking news and updates to stories out to citizens, and the afternoon newspaper was a convenient way to do that. So it was
so
a
they would do
way
a morning
to promote,
edition and then an afternoon edition.
And also allowed adolescent kids to take up an afternoon paper route.
So it provided jobs.
It did.
All right, cool.
Yeah. My other one is why does Gomez start yogi practice?
Yeah, I
found that weird.
The Zen yogi society that he joins.
The whole thing is kind of interesting and weird, but again, the show is weird. So
again, rich people doing weird shit.
And little side jaunt, I was like, can the actor actually do that? That was my note.
Or is he leaning against something?
Right. I was even looking for like strings and stuff like that. Right. And I didn't see anything like that. So both. I didn't look up.
But so he could have been leaning against something because they never showed the back of him.
Could have been a prop of some kind back there.
Because Uncle Fester does it too.
He does. But the actor John Astin can actually do a headstand.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. The actor could actually do it, and from what it was the description, it said this detail it adds to the character in that he's eccentric and was just trying different things, and just adding to his eccentricity.
We already knew that,
right? Anyway, they didn't have a whole lot to it. In episode 7, there's a couple of robbers that they run out of gas or whatever.
Right.
And one of the actors. One of the actors actually pushes on the end of the car. I don't know if you noticed that. To see if there was gas in the tank or if he could hear how much gas was still in the tank. That's not a thing. You can't do that. It doesn't work. There's no reliable. That's not reliable. So that was TV magic shit.
The whole episode was so dumb because they parked in front of the Addams house and then decide to go into the Addams house.
Right.
Where the car that they robbed with is in front of that. Bad robber logic. That's not how you crime.
That's funny. That's not how you crime.
These robbers are bad at crime.
So, the same episode had Gomez said something in the, I think it was at the end of it, but it said they've been sent up the river. And I was like, what the hell is that? I've never heard that before. Sent up the river. So I looked it up. Sent up the river is an idiom meaning to be sent to prison. It originated in the United States, specifically referring to the Sing Sing Penitentiary located up the Hudson River from New York City. Over time, it became a general term for being sent to any prison.
Interesting.
Yeah. Thought that was really cool.
Interesting.
I learned something.
And they were just fine with them being... They didn't know that they were robbers. They didn't even notice their money was gone.
That's how privileged they are. They just had money stashed anywhere. Who puts money crumpled up
in a drawer?
In a drawer,
right?
Like stuffed in there, like it's a sock drawer, right?
Right. What else you got?
Do you know? Several times we watched Gomez pulling a ticker tape out of this.
Yes.
Closed machine thing, right? You knew, okay?
Yeah.
So this is a stock market ticket machine, right?
He consistently loses.
He does, which I guess he has infinite money. I'm not sure.
He likes losing, so I don't know.
Weird. Stock tickers were a special type of telegraph receiver designed to print an alphabetical company symbol and the current price of that company stock on a paper roll called a ticker tape. Thomas Edison made his early reputation as an inventor by designing an improved stock ticker for the Gold and Stock Telegraph Company.
Okay.
So there's that. Anyway, I think it's a beautiful piece of furniture, like a piece of tchotchke. It's
weird art.
It looks like weird art, but also it's very steampunky, right? It's got this sort of refined look to it, but then the inside is all this machinery and stuff. So I don't know, as an antique and vintage person that likes those things, that was just a really cool little thing.
You got more trivia?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Strap in.
Okay.
So I was like, what is henbane?
Oh, it's a plant.
It is a plant. And then I asked the question, what are some of the other plants that Morticia cares for? So she has Cleopatra, the African strangler.
That's not a real plant.
Not a real plant. Also, all the plants in the set were plastic. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes,
the
I
light
noticed
was
that.
catching, and it was, And then she would pet them, and I'm like, that's plastic.
That's very plastic.
None of it was real.
No.
It's Morticia's carnivorous plant, so it eats meat.
It does. It's the man-eating plant.
Right. She likes roses, and she trims.
Well, she likes roses, the thorn.
She likes the thorn of the roses.
The stems.
She doesn't like the flower part, so she cuts the flower part and then sticks them back in the to make her arrangements. And then any poisonous plant, right? So hemlock, poison ivy, deadly nightshade, and henbane.
Yep.
Which I'd never heard of henbane before, but it gets mentioned quite a bit.
Multiple times.
They do.
On another plant that she or sort of plant that she mentions is eye of newt.
Oh yeah.
That's not a thing. They mention it as having it for lunch. That's not a thing you can have for lunch. It's mustard seeds. You can't eat that for lunch.
You get one seed for lunch.
Boiled.
I love boiled mustard seed.
Right? I don't know why.
It fills me right up. And it's spicy too. Some more trivia. Now, I know the answer to this. I'm sure you know the answer to this, but if some of our younger listeners do not know this, what is a phone book?
Oh, gosh. It's a book that has a bunch of phone numbers in it.
Yeah. So I looked at the history of it, and it's actually interesting.
They still make them.
No way.
Yeah, Yellow Pages.
Why? It's a waste of trees.
I think they make them for, like, banks and stuff. I might be wrong.
It's a waste of trees. The world's first telephone directory was published on February 21, 1878, in New Haven, Connecticut. It was a single sheet of cardboard.
Oh, okay.
Listing the names and addresses of 50 phone subscribers.
Oh.
So we haven't lost that.
Terminology?
Or even the structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
While it didn't include phone numbers initially, it served as the foundational document for what would later become the familiar phone book, which does list names, addresses, and phone numbers. So, and before the internet, they were highly needed. We had, payphones and things like that out in the wild.
You can actually see in Bob's Burgers, they use a phone book in an episode.
They do. For the tow truck, I'm going to say?
For the tow truck.
Yeah.
Anyway. Just jumping to a different series altogether.
In episode 15, Rocky says something about just take me to the dead letter office.
Yes.
And I was like, what is a dead letter office? Never even heard of that. So there is a mail recovery center in Atlanta, still in service. It's within the U.S. Postal Service. Mm-hmm. It's the official lost and found department. It used to be called the dead letter office, and it used to have 4 of them, or several operations. Yeah, it says four centers.
4 main offices.
They moved it into one, so that the main one's or the only one is in
It's
Atlanta.
basically where letters go when they can't deliver them.
Can't deliver them due to, there's no
smudging or
there's no
anything like that.
There's no address on it. There's no information on it to get it to where it needed to go, or it can't go back. Right. There's no way to get it back.
If there's only the receiver's address on it. If there's no sender's address on it, then it can't go back and it goes there.
Right. Yeah. If it's missing information, so I can't imagine how much is there.
Probably
That'd be fun to
a lot.
go dig around in there. Okay. What is a union card?
It's when you're part of a union, and that's your
Exactly. It's a card certifying
identification.
It's a card certifying personal membership in good standing with a labor union.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have a lot of unions these days, but there are still unions available, and
We should have more.
We should have more because it protects the employee. We don't have that culture right now.
Nope.
But they did exist, and it was a thing back then, and it was actually highly popular to be in a union.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get asked for your union card, there was a little bit level of it's like a credential, or
Right.
You were more trustworthy.
It's like asking a cop for their badge.
Yeah. It shows that you have gone through some steps, right? My last one, and you can go after this, is what is a divan?
I don't think I know that. I didn't write it down. I just let it go.
Little family history. My grandmother, your great-grandmother,
Yes.
used the word divan, but she used it incorrectly.
Did she?
Yes.
Isn't it a couch?
It is a couch, but it's a specific kind of couch.
Okay. Like a fainting couch?
It's like a fainting couch. It has no back and has no arms.
Yeah.
So it just has the two. It's like a boat
A
style.
boat.
You could row out of it. No.
She's using her hand to draw, which is really fun for a podcast because they can't see you.
Moving my hands all over the place. So divan is spelled D-I-V-A-N. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it was spelled that way. But my grandmother, your great grandmother, used to talk about, don't get this on the divan, don't touch the divan, whatever. And she never used it correctly.
Nice.
Because she had an actual freaking couch that she
Right.
covered in
Plastic.
clear plastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I were.
Yeah. So that's my
All right.
last bit of that.
So I have some stuff, and hopefully it won't take very long. So in episode 3, situation wanted ads were mentioned. Do you know what a situation wanted ad is?
Is it like TaskRabbit?
No, it's so most ads would be like looking for somebody to do said job.
Yeah.
A situation ad is the opposite. I am somebody who can do this job, and I am looking for this job. That's what that is.
Oh. So
You're putting yourself out there.
I'm a painter.
Yeah.
Do you have any painting jobs, basically?
Sort of. It was more niche, like an engineer, like a nuclear engineer, things like that.
Dang. Okay.
I don't know. That came off the top of my fucking head, man. So but it was more niche than just, I can do a job for you.
I wonder if this went into like laundresses and like ironing and things like
Possibly.
that. Yeah.
I don't know. But it was mentioned, and I can't remember now why. So in episode 4, that episode starts off with Gomez going through politicians and showing a bunch of politicians.
Has all the posters.
All the posters and all these kind of things. I went through and looked them all up. So I'll give you all the names real quick. Thomas Edmund Dewey, Alfred Mossman Landon, that's his actual middle name. Alfred Emanuel Smith, Wendell Lewis Wilkie, Adelaide Ewing Stevenson II, and Stephen Arnold Douglas. So the big thing about all of them is that they're all losers to the presidential election. That's the whole point of that, is that they're all losers. So Gomez really likes... Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, okay. These are all actual people who ran for a presidential election.
I think I recognized Dewey and Wilkie. The others I didn't recognize.
Some of them were chosen a Republican or Democrat nominee and just lost. Some of them never even got that far.
Wow.
So, yeah. I could go through and do more, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
So, in episode 5, one of the things that we see, and it's not really explained, is the little boy that's not Pugsley that came over.
The black guy?
With the yeah, that kid.
Okay.
So they came over to play, and he comes out all tied up. Yes. And Pugsley is wearing a headdress, specifically a Native American headdress.
Yes. That's the cultural appropriation. Well, some of it.
That's part of it. So they were playing a game called Cowboys and Indians, and it was a sort of popular game because it's a variant of Cops and Robbers. Yeah. There are multiple variations to this game. It's also called Jail or Jailbreak. And it just became popular because Westerns became popular.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
This is also portrayed in I Love Lucy as well.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is. Episode 9, throwing rice at weddings. Because they throw rice, they say lizard teeth.
They do say lizard teeth.
Which that's not a thing. I looked that up. The weird things I have to look up for the show.
Lizards don't have teeth.
Anyway, I think they do.
Do they? No.
I think so.
Okay.
Anyway, but throwing rice at weddings is a symbol of prosperity and fertility and just good luck. It's a symbolic gesture meant to shower the couple in blessings as they begin their new life. The tradition dates back to ancient times, and it has various cultures, and sometimes they use wheats, oats, and corn, things that they have an abundance of.
Okay.
It's to represent abundance.
Yeah, yeah.
In episode 10, Gomez and Morticia compare themselves, they're dancing, they compare themselves to Nijinsky and Pavlova. And those were two Russian dancers in the earliest 20th century. Vaslav Nijinsky and Anna Pavlova. And I believe she's the reason that we have a Pavlova dessert. I might be wrong.
Maybe.
Or it's named after her. I'm not quite sure. And lastly, a correspondence course. It was mentioned in episode 14.
I didn't catch that.
So a correspondence course is a type of distance education where course materials are sent to students, completed, and then returned. And then afterwards, by mail or email, you receive a grade. It's self-directed learning approach. So that it's sort of like before online courses could be a thing.
That's what I was thinking.
This is a correspondence course where you apply, get in, they send you stuff.
I will say this was access for women to be educated
as well,
from the lower income. Yeah. You could pay per course.
So, it's not just women, anybody in the lower classes.
In the TV that I've seen,
well, yeah,
it's all women who are trying to
it was mentioned
themselves.
To Mama for her because she was doing art.
Oh, yeah.
That's where this was mentioned.
Well, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
I was so focused on the Picasso situation that I didn't even catch.
We hadn't even got to that yet at that point.
Yeah.
The dude said you should just take a correspondence course and then walked out. Not the artist, the dealer dude.
Okay. Do you want
So
2 other pieces of trivia?
you have more trivia?
I just have 2 slight little things.
Okay, sure.
So, actually, yeah, 2 things, but one is split into 2 parts.
Okay.
So, in the episode with Pomeroy, with the kid with the black eye,
Yeah.
his dad.
Yeah, did you recognize him?
Yeah.
He's from I Love Lucy. I had to look him up.
Yeah, he's from I Love Lucy. He's a very famous actor.
At first, I thought he was from the Munsters, and I was like, wow, that's fun. No. His name is Frank Nelson.
Frank Nelson, thank you. Yes. And then the robbers, Don Nichols was one of the robbers.
Oh.
Super famous comedian.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he is.
I was really surprised they got him. But yeah, super. And that Don Rickles and Frank Nelson are 2 people that I would inadvertently watched on TV because they were super famous at the time. So for them to be on here, it probably catapulted the first season to have some names attached. Yeah. So my little personal trivia from, so you have John Astin,
Right.
who is the father of Sean Astin.
Right.
So I went to a Comic-Con,
Yeah.
I don't know, 15 years ago or whatever.
You met him, didn't you?
I did not meet him.
Oh.
I was in the line on a stairwell. He came out of a door on a landing and went down the other way, and I was like, that was Sean Astin. So I got a drive-by. But I heard through the grapevine of all the gossiping in line that Sean Astin is a super, super kind dude.
Yes, he is.
Which I heard that John Astin's also a super, super kind dude.
Not surprised.
So, yeah, I was really happy about that. So that's my little trivia from my personal stuff. I have not met Sean Astin, but I did get to see him. Like, I was in, 4 feet away from him.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing we wanted to do was a brief, very brief, comparison to Munsters.
Yeah.
Just because they came out so close together.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this question. Which one did you prefer?
The Munsters.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's the comedy.
Well, part of it's the comedy. The other one is the Munsters, they established who they are.
They did, and they struggled with the social construct. That was one. They were outside it, but then trying to...
The Munsters, they are monsters who are living a regular life.
They are.
And then these people are just people who are being weird and doing odd things. And and just throwing money at problems. And the other side, they were having money problems.
Yeah, they were. That's the thing, that they had regular struggles.
Yes.
Right? Despite them being monsters, they still had regular struggles. And that was portrayed. And also what I really liked about the show itself was not only the camera work was better.
Yes.
But the sheer volume of creativity in how to create the special effects.
Right.
Because there's not a whole lot in the 1960s. And so you kind of work with the props you have and the kind of materials you have. So it was super creative in that way. And the Addams Family really relied on editing for that.
Right. So yeah, the Munsters I just think is better. Again, I'd like to see that one come back.
Weirdly, the Addams Family, even though it portrays a privileged family, came out more cheap.
It did.
It felt more cheap as far as the production.
And I think part of that is because of the editing, the way that it was edited.
Yeah. So I just don't think they put whoever was in charge of all the production and all that stuff didn't put the money in the right places.
Right.
Munsters, primo stuff, man.
Yeah, that was really good. And also, their house seemed spooky.
It did. There was a lot of cobwebs and stuff like that. Yeah.
Addams Family, the house was a house. It was just fine.
Yeah, it's just decorated differently.
Kept saying this is a spooky, scary place. I don't want to go in there, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, they're not scary. These are not scary people. They might detain you for a little bit, but
they had some slight supernatural stuff. Like the gate was supernatural.
Very little.
Yeah, very little stuff. It just,
I preferred the Munsters. The house was scarier. And not like in a, super scary way. It was the 60s. It's not going to be that scary, but it was scarier, and it was just the more involved.
It was in monsters who did not intend to fear or inflict fear.
Right. And the other thing is that the parents were very involved with their children, and that includes Marilyn.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were very involved with their children, and Morticia and Gomez are not involved with their children at all.
No.
So,
Also, just thinking from a mental health perspective, the Munsters were more safe because you knew that they would incorporate, like they would try to get you to be
right
more included in their stuff when they come in. Let me get you some, even though their house was spooky and creepy and all that. The Addams Family, there's a level of gaslighting that happens. Like you just don't know where the footing is there, even though they're kind and they're doing the social norms of, supporting you and getting you food and whatever. And, having conversations and whatnot. It's the cover. It's the cover of privilege and ugh.
Yeah, it was just, no. I agree.
Superficial. That's the word I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
The Addams family is more superficial, and the Munsters family is more down to earth and authentic.
Yeah. Anyway, we wanted to do a little bit of a comparison here at the very end.
Yeah. Maybe one of these days we'll do a full-on comparison.
We do want to do a full comparison eventually, hopefully.
I am super attracted to that idea, but I don't have any time to do the rabbit hole for all of it.
Well, we also need more of our audience, so let us know if you want that.
Right? Follow us on Sky.
Yeah.
Blue Sky.
Sky. Just follow us in the sky.
We're going to have skywriters go out there and try to get audience followers.
Also follow us on all the podcast stuff and and all those things. We do have a YouTube where we post shorts.
Yeah. You can go in there and on the YouTube too.
So,
We're not everywhere for specific reasons, specifically social justice reasons. But where we are, please follow us. Please try to send us a message if you want, engage, that kind of thing. So, and hopefully you'll be having some celebrations this month for Halloween.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Have a spooky, scary month.
Yeah.
Not with this family, because they're not spooky at all.
No.
Addams Family, not that
But
spooky.
our next episode.
It will be. You'll find out. You'll find out.
Okay. Stay tuned, people. All right. Be kind to yourself. Have compassion for others.
Love yourself.
Love yourself.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks,
or hear
everyone.
you next time. You'll hear us. You'll hear us.
You'll hear us. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.